Welcome back to another video in this tutorial series on operating and managing rConfig. So last time we got rConfig installed and operational using our automated deployment scripts. This time a very quick video to show you the upgrade process. We deliver a lot of features using our CI/CD process, test-driven development, so we make sure we get features, fixes, and improvements out to you as fast as we can. So to run through the process real quick, we've made it as simple as possible using the existing deployment command that you would have used for installing rConfig. So very simply, on the dashboard, we've been notified using this green badge up here that an update is available. So let's go ahead and click here. So you can see it says update available. So click here. Now we asked for updates to be done via the CLI, but we've given instructions and even copy commands for you to do this very easily. So you can see the current version is 5.0.5 and we want you to upgrade to 5.0.6. Always take backups, right? We'll show you about backups and we'll do tutorials on backups in another video. Make sure you have internet access, that's important. And really just log into your server. So you have these very convenient little copy functions here. So copy that command, head back, copy the next command. And the next command is important. I want you to get the latest version of the envoy script in case there are any changes to that script. We don't expect to make many changes. But just in case there are any minor updates, we would like you to grab the very latest version of it. And then really the last command is to run the envoy deploy command again, like you did for the installation. Okay. So for me, so I don't have to remember the API key each time, it's in my history. So I'm going to do a control and R and I'm going to type deploy and there it is. And I just need you to hit enter. What that's going to do is it's going to grab the latest version of rConfig. You can see the dependencies now load much faster because most of them load from cache. And then it redeploys the application into a new folder. Now, what's important here, and I'll go through it when the installation completes here in a second. So same as the first deployment, we're seeing all the right commands and outputs being sent back to us here. And when you see rConfig deployment complete, that means your update is completed. Quickly run back to the CLI. I like to do a control and F5 to force the browser to read. Okay, since the browser refreshed, we can see that the green badge, the indicator for the update, has disappeared. And if we check our version, we are now on 5.0.6. Of course, when you look at this video, it might be a different version, but that's what it is today. So we're going to look at the rollback process real quick. So you might need to roll back either under instruction from support, or perhaps you undertook an update that just went wrong for one reason or another. So it's pretty easy to do. Before I show you how to do it, I'm just going to describe how rConfig is deployed on your operating system. So if I go to the rConfig directory, and if I do list the directories and files on this, we can see four main components, I guess. The current directory, which is linked to the releases directory, a subdirectory within the releases, which is a timestamped directory. We've got the envoy file, which you should be used to at this point for deploying and initialization. Persistent data, that's where we keep our key configuration files for the application that largely do not change. And the releases directory. And if I take a look in the releases directory, I skipped ahead in the video a little bit so that there's a few extra directories in here from today. So what's going to happen is we're going to run a rollback, and we're going to go from this directory, which is linked to current, to this directory, which is our 5.0.5. So it's a pretty easy process. I've got it in my history. It's a envoy, run, rollback, and your API token. That's it. It's just like the deploy command, except it's a rollback instead of deploy. So I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to run this, check out what happens. Very quickly, it unlinks one directory, does some clearing of cache, etc., and then relinks to the old directory. Now, okay, changes to the database or anything like that. So if I jump back to the browser and again do a control and F5, always like to force the browser with a control and F5. And let's look at our help and about, and we are on 505. So it's a very quick, very seamless, very easy process. Now, if you want to upgrade again, you can run the deploy command, and that will bring in a whole brand new directory, a different timestamp completely. So this directory will actually never be used again. We only stored the last 5 installations of rConfig in the releases directory, so just keep that in mind. Now, 2 more things to get through really quick. One thing is the deploy command itself. So you saw in the video where normally we're notified in the user interface about an upgrade. Okay, and we run in here and we follow the commands. Okay, and you can run the deploy command anytime you wish, and you will get the latest code base. Now, why would I want you to do that? On occasion, support may instruct you to run the deploy command. If there's an informal fix, or perhaps during the course of some troubleshooting where there's a definite bug that we want you to deploy, and we may just release a hot fix or something like that. So and in the case of the rollback, if you're confident that you can roll forward, as it were, you can run that deployment command without the badge being present, the notification badge. However, if you're not advised to do so, don't, and contact support if you're in doubt. One other thing that I would like you to be aware of, and we're going to do a whole video on all of the rConfig commands that are available. So PHP Artisan is a key just jump into the current directory, because that's where you run it from. PHP Artisan is a command line utility that comes with Laravel. But we have a whole bunch of commands, okay? And I'm going to show you at a glance our commands, okay? But I just want to show you one in particular, and that is the clear all command. Extremely useful for troubleshooting issues with the browser. So let's say you run an update and you're still seeing the old version, or I don't know, the menu is missing, or the page didn't quite refresh the way you expected. It can happen sometimes. A really useful command is the PHP Artisan clear all. Must be run from the current directory, okay, where the application is installed. So PHP Artisan clear all can be done anytime. Just clears out a bunch of cache from the application, and you can go right back to the user interface. And I like to do that control in F5 just to give it that one final push. There it is, end of rConfig Laravel clear out, and then a control in F5, give it a push. We didn't have any issues, so we didn't see any net benefit to doing that. But it is a very useful command if you just want to clear out some old cache entries after doing an update or something like that. So just to keep that in mind. So we did an upgrade using the deploy command. We did a rollback using the envoy run rollback in your API key command, and we did a PHP Artisan rConfig clear dash all command. Very useful for clearing out the cache and history. So thank you for joining again, and we'll see you in the next session.